Welcome back to the Max Reality. If you've seen my face before, then you know the drill, but if you're new here, I love talking all things reality TV, and today we are here for the third installment of What I Watched in a Month, March Madness Edition. With it being our third installment, and because it's shows from the month of March, I thought a March Madness theme would be a fun way to switch up the format a little bit. Also, this month, I had a bunch of shows that I was watching from February still, so I might not necessarily have a whole lot of, new things to add, so I thought, why not just have them battle head-to-head? Also, yes, check out the basketball earrings. We love a theme, yes. But before the battle begins, let's go over the stats from March. This was my lowest month so far for number of different shows I watched at 18, but that's okay because the other two categories were the highest they've been, with episode numbers being 145 episodes, which gave us a grand total of 7,672 minutes of reality TV watched. Truly incredible. Such a big jump. The other 2 months were close to a little over 5,000 or so. Huge jump. Wild. I don't know what I was doing this month. Yes, I do. I was binging Food Network stars. I think that accounts for a lot of this. That also accounts for why the number of shows was lower, because I was very invested in rewatching old Food Network stars. So I found this website called Challenge. That's what I'm calling it because there's an O in it that lets you make your own kind of March Madness style bracket. I put all 18 shows I watched in there, and we're going to let it make the bracket for us, randomize it, and we'll get to going. So for our first battle, we have Food Network star against The Bachelor Season 29. This is not hard at all. This isn't even a kind of hard choice. It's obviously going to be Food Network star. Hands down, 10 out of 10. I have just been loving rewatching it. How I got on this journey is another show I've been watching that I've mentioned in the past couple months' videos is Wildcard Kitchen. When I was watching Wildcard Kitchen recently, Damaris, who won Food Network Stars Season 9? I think that's right. She was on Wildcard Kitchen, and I was like, God, I used to love that show. And then I just started kind of rewatching in a very chaotic order, and I've been watching as much of it as I can. But fun fact, if you're trying to watch it, random things are missing. Random seasons are missing for different reasons. In the season I'm watching right now, random episodes are missing. The process of it has just been very chaotic watching it for that reason. It's also so funny because I've been watching all this on HBO Max, but they took a show that used to be separate called Comeback Kitchen and just jammed it in as the first 3 episodes of each season. So then the episode numbers are off. So if you're trying to track it like I am with my tracking app, it all gets very confusing. I also, just for the purposes of me keeping track of everything, decided to also combine them. And so Comeback Kitchen and Food Network stars in my little graph are just all combined as their own, thing for number of episodes I watched, because it was too messy. It was too messy. But aside from HBO Max making it very difficult to watch at certain times, I definitely recommend it. I love Food Network stars. I had already seen some of the seasons before, and even rewatching the seasons that I know what's going to happen, it's just such a fun show. I don't know why it got canceled, because I am just living for every single moment of it, especially going back to watch those older seasons. Just such a joy. If you have the ability to go watch it, 10 out of 10, recommend. So sorry to Bachelor Season 29 for having to go up against Food Network stars. That honestly just isn't even, kind of fair. But also, I was pretty sure that no matter what Bachelor was up against, it was probably not going to make it very far. Because this season, I've already talked about it enough in the other months of episodes, I feel, but it's just it was weird. It was only 9 episodes too, which I don't think helped just the weird vibes of everything, but I just wasn't really about this season, and I'm really hoping they redeem themselves with Paradise. Our next battle is Real Housewives of Potomac Season 9 against Deal or No Deal Island Season 2. Oh, this one is gonna be harder for me. I do think Potomac was good this year. We had the stuff with Karen, which wasn't so good, But it was a good watch. It was a solid season, but I wouldn't say it was like a super crazy dynamic season of Real Housewives of Potomac. Just kind of felt like a standard, submit, good to watch season. I don't know. I'm not having a bunch of like feelings come up about it. But when I think of Deal or No Deal Island season 2, just viscerally, it was so good, y'all. It was so good. Spoiler alert, if you have not watched it and you want to watch it, I'm about to spoil all of it. So skip ahead to whatever timestamp I have because I cannot contain myself. Okay? Skip. David winning. That final episode, I was on the edge of my seat. My partner and I kept having to get up. We were just in shock. It was so wild. It was such good TV. It was such the perfect ending to the season. Deal or No Deal Island season 2, just, incredible. So, for those reasons, I'm gonna have to say Deal or No Deal Island season 2 is progressing to the next round. This next one is another one that I can very easily say I know who I'm gonna pick. I'm loving this right now while it's super easy, but from some of these I'm picking, I know it's gonna get very hard for me later, so I need to enjoy this while I can. And this matchup is Love is Blind Season 8 versus the brand new season of Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16. This one's kind of funny because Love is Blind is completely done. It is over. And Real Housewives of Atlanta just started. We're only 4 episodes in. But after 4 episodes, I can say that I think this is going to be a really fun season of Atlanta. It's completely rebooted. It's completely fresh. And I'm really liking it so far. I was very nervous. I was super nervous. And not having Atlanta for an entire year felt so wild. So it might just be part of me like just jonesing to have Atlanta back. I don't know, but I have been loving these first 4 episodes. I know there's drama obviously with Kenya coming that I don't remember exactly what was going around on the internet, but it's just kind of like looming. And honestly, it's keeping me double invested. And Love is Blind Season 8, I mean, I talked about it last month because that's when most of the episodes were. But God, it was just a snooze fest. This last season of Love is Blind was, I was like forcing myself to watch through it. Like, I've already talked about it. I don't need to dwell on it. I'm just happy with how it ended. I'm glad Sarah didn't go with that one guy, although there is now rumors about Sarah doing stuff. I'm not good at keeping up with these people after the show. So, but I was relatively happy with the way everything ended. I was very happy Virginia didn't end up with that man. Thank you. I was very happy about that. And our couple that did get together, Daniel and Taylor, definitely seem like they belong together. So good for them, but unfortunately that is not enough for them to progress to the next round. Our winner is Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 16, obviously. See what I was saying about I needed to enjoy myself while it lasted, because now we're on kind of a hard one for me. Up next is Married to Medicine Season 11 against Kitchen Nightmares, the reboot, Season 2. Kitchen Nightmares is over for the season. Married to Medicine is about to be over. And honestly, they both put in very good seasons. Very quality seasons. I also love both of these shows so much. So I'm really, really struggling. I feel like the last season, Season 10 of Married to Medicine, wasn't one of my all-time favorites, so I do want to give them points for I do think this was a better season than last season, but I can also say similar things about not Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares. My bad. Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares, if you know, you know. While the current reboot of Kitchen Nightmares can never be the original British version, Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares, I do think they made improvements this season. The biggest one is the interior design. The interior design on Kitchen Nightmares was so bad last season for the reboot. It was so ugly. Every restaurant looked exactly the same. It was so boring. Just wanted to like boo every time they showed the new restaurant. This season, they definitely got somebody new, or that person got a talking to and went 180, because it felt like very intentional with all the designs. It felt like they really like paid attention to the space they were in, the community they were in. They were all different, unique. That was a great thing. But it is it's kind of a minor thing in the grand scheme of things. Oh, this one's really hard for me. This was really hard. You know what? I'm giving it to the Married to Medicine girls. I really feel like they've been putting in this season Toya has been killing me. I liked Heaven and Contessa maybe hopefully coming back together. It seemed like they might when they're talking about it at the reunion. I'm hoping for that next season. They're giving me stuff to look forward to next season. I love Married to Medicine. It's a top tier, close to my heart. And while Gordon Ramsay is too, and I love Kitchen Nightmares, I just think the women of Married to Medicine really they clocked in this season, and they deserve to go to the next round. We are back to easy mode with The Floor Season 3 versus 90 Day Fiancé The Last Resort Season 2. I have talked about The Floor generally before in yearly recaps. I've also made a video about it, but I do not recommend that video. I need to make an updated video about The Floor. I've talked about it before, but that video is what made it, so I do not make videos about shows anymore until the show is complete. Because I made that after a couple episodes of watching The Floor. I was hyped. I was loving it. Then I kept watching it and I kept being like, I don't love this. Oh, I think they should change this. You know what? Parts of the show just don't even work. So that video, I do need to go back and remake it one day. But I tend to watch it. I tend to still, I watched Season 2. Season 3 started recently. I got about 3 episodes in, and I'm so behind, y'all. I think they're maybe on episode 8, and I just have not picked it back up. It needs to be its whole other video. But 90 Day Fiancé The Last Resort Season 2, excellent. Especially when you compare it to Season 1 of 90 Day Fiancé The Last Resort. I hated that show. This season was so much better. My only complaint is I felt like that season was never going to end. It feels like this show has been going on since the dawn of time. I've been watching it, I think it started in like January or something like that, maybe the end of December. I can't remember right now. I know I've been at least watching it since January because it's been in all these videos, and that's my only complaint. It could have been shorter. This season could have been way shorter, but other than that, I have been on the edge of my seat. I've been loving it. This reunion, the first part of the tell-all, incredible. I'm not saying Jasmine is always right as a person or any of that. I'm not condoning anything. I'm not saying violence is always the answer. But when Rob had the audacity to call a woman who is that pregnant a whore and then make fun of her accent before that, I get why she threw a shoe at him. I get it. Like, all that being said, though, back to the March bracket. If you couldn't already clearly tell, 90 Day Fiancé Last Resort Season 2 is moving on to the next round. Oh my gosh, this one's gonna kill me. We have The Traitors Season 3 versus Love Never Lies Poland Season 3. This one hurts me. This one hurts a little. These shows are both so excellent. If you've seen any of my videos like this before, you know I love The Traitors. I just think The Traitors is an absolute perfect show. But Love Never Lies and the Poland edition, actually all of them are great. Poland's just the one that came on recently. Love Never Lies is fantastic. It is just drama city. It is on the edge of my seat. Incredible to watch these people. I cannot recommend it enough. If you have not seen it yet, you are in for such a treat because you have 3 seasons of Love Never Lies Poland. We've also done, I think, Love Never Lies South Africa, and then there was a Spanish version. I don't remember exactly what country they're in because I haven't actually seen that one yet, but you have a plethora to go watch. It is fantastic. It is fantastic television. It gives similar vibes to like a Temptation Island. It's not exactly like that though. You just have the couples split up. I don't want to get into all the details of it. I should do a video on Love Never Lies sometime because it's fantastic. It is so good. I think I talked about the show some in my yearly recap. So if you want more about it, you can go check that out. But this is a hard one. It's hard too because some of the criteria I'm trying to think of between the 2 shows, like, did they do something more interesting than the season before? The answer for both is yes. With The Traitors, they added other levels like the whole seer thing and then bringing people in at like a later date with the Cage Boys. Love Never Lies Poland brought in a married couple for the first time ever. It's usually just couples, maybe an engaged couple, but it's usually just dating couples doing it. Having a married couple on there, wild. They also brought a contestant back who had been on the show previously, which was a very interesting dynamic. So it's so hard. Like, they really, like, this is, whoever doesn't win is really unfair to them. It's very unfair they're getting knocked out in this first round. But somebody's got to go. And I think, guys, this is killing me. I've taken some time to keep simmering over it. And Wild the Traders it's my baby. It's one of my absolute favorite shows. The fans this season made watching it sometimes really annoying. Not fans that are my friends that I talk to about the show, but just outside, like, the way people talked about certain things annoyed me so much that, unfortunately, that's what's going to be its downfall. And with that, Love Never Lies Poland Season 3 is going to move on to the next round! That one actually hurt me. That one hurt my heart a lot. I didn't think this early on it was going to hurt like that. I'm going to be real. Our next head-to-head battle is honestly kind of a weird one. We have Shark Tank Season 16 and 90 Day Fiancé, just like the OG plain 90 Day Fiancé Season 11. 90 Day Fiancé has been fun. I do like this season. I know multiple of the couples from different things they've already been on, but I wouldn't say it's given us anything like new or like anything that's keeping me on the edge of my seat ready to come back each week. But that's why it's kind of weird going against Shark Tank, because Shark Tank isn't a show like that, since each episode is so encapsulated within itself. It's not one of those like, oh, you're wondering what's going to happen next week shows. But I think I have to give it to Shark Tank. Obviously, I love Shark Tank, considering I recap it here every single week. But honestly, I've also had a lot of fun with this season. Part of it's because Mark's been extra fun, because it's his last season on the show, so he's been doing whatever he wants, and I've been loving it. But it has been a really fun season overall. And so, for those couple reasons, it's getting edged out, and it's going to move on to the next round. We have a pretty interesting mashup here with Below Deck Down Under Season 3 and the brand new reboot of Temptation Island Season 1 on Netflix. I haven't gotten to talk about Temptation Island at all yet because I watched it all in March, start to finish, binged it over a weekend, and I will say I loved it. I have seen Temptation Island before back in the past. I discovered it for the first time kind of during lockdown and binged a whole bunch of it at once, like I like to do. And this new reboot of it was really fun. I don't know if part of the reason, when I was watching it back when I got really into it, I started getting annoyed with it, but I worry some of that was just because I was binging it. And it's one of those shows where kind of people's problems are kind of the same every year. Not exactly the same, but similar things are going on. So that might have just been a symptom of just like, I'm sick of hearing the same thing over and over again. So having this break and now watching it with brand new eyes, I was like, God, this show is so good. I had forgotten how good Temptation Island was. I had so much fun watching it. It was so, so good. But on the other hand, I do love Below Deck Down Under. I think this has been a pretty strong season of Below Deck. But is it better than the new reboot of Temptation Island? I don't think so. I think Temptation Island is moving on to the next round. Okay, now we're going to start getting back to shows we have already talked about, competing against other shows, and this one just feels like such a wild pairing to me. We have Food Network Star and Wildcard Kitchen. The two food competition shows I'm watching right now had to get paired up against each other, which is very rude. I love both of these shows, and they're like so different, even though they're both food shows. Like, they're completely different. We kind of go back to the same issue with Shark Tank and Temptation Island, where I can't compare them on like the I can't wait to watch next week, because once again, Wildcard Kitchen is one of those, each episode is its own thing, and Food Network Star is episodic. You're following along a journey during a season. And it's like, who's to say which of those things is better? So you gotta look more for other reasonings of what's so good about these shows. Something I love about Wildcard Kitchen is it's always professional chefs, because they're bringing in some of the food stars to cook. And it's really interesting to see what these high-level people will do with like the wild, weird like stuff that's thrown at them. But on the other hand, you have food stars where it's a lot of times like home cooks, or even if they are chefs, they're not like food stars. And it's so fun to see their journey where they're like learning and growing. And oh, that's just like, it's just so different. It's so hard to pick. I love Wildcard Kitchen, but I think Food Network Stars is gonna have to win. I just feel like it's such a powerhouse of a show. I just think it's so good. And Food Network Stars produced some of the people who have been on Wildcard Kitchen, like Damaris, aka the whole reason I went back to watching Food Network Stars. I don't know, it's winning. We're letting Food Network Stars keep going. They are running. Next up, we have Deal or No Deal Island Season 2 versus The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 14. And let me say, Season 14 of Beverly Hills has been my favorite in such a long time. It has been such a good season. But while all that is true, it is just uncomparable to what good TV Deal or No Deal Island Season 2 was this year. It's just not even fair to try to compare the two, because Deal or No Deal Island 2 Beverly Hills would have had to do something wild. I don't know, Dorit would have had to like set PK's car on fire or something. Maybe we'll get that next season. Suggestions? No, I'm just kidding. That is not a suggestion for legal reasons. That is just a joke. But I'm just saying, it's close with how much they've done. A lot of the women were really clocking in this season, but unfortunately, it just comes up a little short compared to what David did in that finale. Incredible. Now it's going to start getting dicier and dicier. Our first up in round 3 of all of this is going to be Married to Medicine Season 11 versus 90 Day Fiancé The Last Resort Season 2. As I've already said with both of these shows, they have both given great improvements from their previous season, so that's great points to all of them. I think because of how much they do have in common with that sort of factor, what I'm going to go to is the cast. And I'm sorry, but the Married to Medicine ladies, I love watching all of them. There's not really somebody on Married to Medicine that I didn't like watching. Do I want Phaedra back on? No. I'm very glad she's leaving that group of women. It just never meshed right for me, but I didn't not like seeing her on my TV. Versus when I'm watching 90 Day Fiancé Last Resort, there are multiple people on that screen that I never want to see on my screen ever again. And for that reasoning and that reasoning alone, Married to Medicine women, you are moving on to the next round. Our next head-to-head is Shark Tank Season 16 versus the reboot of Temptation Island. And while I love Shark Tank, I love you dearly, there is no world where this season of Shark Tank could beat the reboot of Temptation Island. I am so sorry. There is just something, something wild would have had to happen for Shark Tank to be able to beat it. It was just such a good comeback for Temptation Island. It was fantastic. And while I love Shark Tank and it's been dialed up some this season and I do enjoy it, unfortunately for them, I am out. And Temptation Island is in and moving forward. Next, we have Food Network Stars versus Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 16. And I do love both of these shows as well. But I think, unfortunately, since Atlanta is only in episode 4, because of that, they are not going to get to move on to the next round. While I am encouraged by what I've seen so far, I love Food Network Star, and I know I love it, and I don't have to be concerned about moving it forward. Whereas Atlanta, I'm not sure yet. We're not sure. You've made it far. We're proud of you for getting into this round. But unfortunately, you're not going to make it any farther. Food Network Stars is moving on. This is another very hard one for me. Deal or No Deal Island Season 2 versus Love Never Lies Poland Season 3. It's hard, but this is difficult for me. This is very difficult. But I think because of everything, with just how it was just so good. It was so phenomenal, especially for a Season 2. Deal or No Deal Island is our winner and moving on to the next round. And we are officially in the semifinals, which officially means that I'm going to be sitting here for a minute I can't decide. First up in our very, very difficult decisions is going to be Deal or No Deal Island Season 2 versus Temptation Island Reboot. We got the islands battling each other, and while both were just such a fun time, such a great time being on both islands, I think Deal or No Deal Island is going to keep dominating. It was such good TV. It was so good. And I'm excited for next season. I know they, will never be able to, probably replicate how good the finale was for season 2. But I hope they can just keep finding ways to, innovate and keep making the game more and more interesting. And I have faith in them, honestly. And with that, Deal or No Deal Island is going to the finals. Then we have Food Network Stars versus Married to Medicine Season 11. This one is hard, and something that's been benefiting Food Network Stars some in this race is Food Network Stars gets the benefit of I've watched multiple seasons this past month, and so they're all in my mind as this one big, gigantic, awesome thing, versus all the other shows, it's mostly just one season. Actually, it's all just one season of the other shows for March. This is the only multi-season show I watched this month. So it does make it hard to compete against because there's just so much that was happening with all that. I don't know. After sitting here with much consideration in my heart, we're gonna have to move Food Network Stars onto the finale. It's just so good. I love it so much. It just has such a special place in my heart. And while Married to Medicine does too, I don't know. I've really been digging Food Network Stars, for lack of a better word. I am just so in it. I love it so much. I've loved being able to see how it evolved over time by binging all of these old seasons together. And while that is unfair when having to go against just one season of Married to Medicine, honestly, Married to Medicine should be proud of itself for making it this far to the semifinales as being a more lifestyle show, because I quite clearly prefer more competition style shows. So when you give them a round of applause for making it this far, I thought it would be all competition shows by this point. So while they're not going to the finale, they do get an honorable mention for that. And with that, it's time for the finale. We have our final two, which is Food Network Stars versus Deal or No Deal Island Season 2. I truly and deeply, I don't know how to make this decision. I really don't. I need to think. I think I need a minute to myself to think about this. I literally have been sitting here for probably 5 minutes debating this. This is so dumb. I know this is so not serious, but this is serious to me. And I feel like I tried to take myself out of it and look at it a little more objectively for this final, because we know they're both good shows in my opinion. Obviously, they wouldn't be in the finale otherwise. These are two shows that I love. They have my heart. But if I take a step back and think of it objectively, I just can't think of a moment in Food Network Stars that I got to see. I should talk about that when we get done with this. I need to go back to Food Network Stars for a little caveat of what I got to see. There wasn't a moment in Food Network Stars that lived up to what we got to witness during season 2 of Deal or No Deal Island. And because of that, Deal or No Deal Island Season 2 is our winner for the March TV Madness Bracket. Let's take a moment to congratulate Deal or No Deal Island Season 2. Thank you so much to the producers, to the cast, to Joe, all of you for making such a good season. And I wish nothing but better and better things for the seasons moving forward. Congratulations for winning the first ever Max Reality March Madness TV bracket. But I do want to go back to the Food Network Stars thing. Since this time I wasn't doing as much just random talking, I know I got to talk about a little that some of the seasons are missing and all that, but something that is missing that is very important to me personally is Guy Fieri's season of Food Network Stars. If you didn't know this, he got his start on the show Food Network Stars, which was a show designed to try to get new Food Network stars, and they hit the jackpot season 2 with Guy Fieri. That season is nowhere. I have looked high, I have looked low, it's nowhere. If you know where it is and you can get it to me, I would die. This is my plea to whoever sees this. If somebody sees this and knew, I've looked, my partner's looked, I don't think it's anywhere. I think it's lost media, which is so deeply upsetting. I mean, maybe Food Network has it, so maybe it's not lost, but it's lost to the general public. it seems, which is so upsetting. And honestly, if I had been able to watch that season, that is such a remarkable TV history moment that it probably would have gotten to edge out Deal or No Deal Island. But because I didn't get to personally witness it, it doesn't get it. It doesn't get the benefit of that. So I had to put that side note in there because seriously, if you know, somehow, if by some miracle somebody sees this and is like, oh yeah, I have that saved on my computer for whatever reason, please let me know. Please, 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 please. Please and thank you. The other very funny thing about Food Network Stars is while it was my favorite show, and I'm still in the middle, I'm almost done with watching it. I've almost watched all the seasons that are available to watch. It actually also almost messed up all of my numbering sequences and such. Because for some reason on the app I'm using, what I have determined is it's not counting the Food Network Stars specials in the play count of Food Network Stars for some reason, which, long story short, just messes up my numbers overall. And I was missing an episode when I was trying to log things for myself to the point that my partner had to go through the app that I've talked about before that I'm using for tracking all this and physically count all of the shows I watched in March to figure out where the missing episode was missing. Luckily, it turned out to be Food Network Stars, which was the first one, but like, do y'all see this? This is just another point of if he wanted to, he would. Because I was gonna panic and he came in here and he just figured it all out. And after looking some more at it, it seems to be the specials for some reason. Just they're like, no, we count them in your total number, but not in the total number of Food Network Stars shows. It's very odd. But after a lot of panicking, having my partner come in, be a star, he saved the day. But those are just two funny things about Food Network Stars that I thought would be fun to throw in here at the end. And that is going to be a wrap on all the different TV shows I watched in March. If you made it this far, thank you so much. It really means a lot to me. If you've seen any of my others, like the January or February episode, I would love to hear if you liked this format, if you have any other ideas for different types of formats. I'm super open. I'm just loving doing this little monthly series. It's really helping me keep track of my shows. So I really feel like the end of the year video is going to be a lot of fun. And I just think it's interesting tracking my shows. It's been interesting to see every month kind of like what I've been more into, the different trends of stuff going on. So seriously, if you've been watching the series at all, this is your first time, either way, if you made it this far, it means a lot to me. If you liked the video, don't forget to like it down below. If you like reality TV, Shark Tank recaps, Shark Tank product reviews, any and all of that, check out the channel and subscribe because it is a good time over here. As always, I want to hear your thoughts, feelings, opinions, comments, all that and more down below. And until then, I'll see y'all in the next one.